Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hi, grade 9. How are you today, girls? Today, inshallah, we will start in unit 3. It talks about genes and genetics. Genes and genetics. And at first, we should know that there are two kinds of traits or two kinds of characteristics. Number one, hereditary traits, and number two, acquired traits. Hereditary traits, they are the traits that transmit from one generation to another, from parents to the offspring, to you, from your parents, for example, to you. So they are the traits that transmitted from one generation to another, like hair color, like skin color, number of fingers, and the blood groups. But the acquired traits, they are the traits that aren't transmitted from one generation to another, like the skills of playing football, skills of writing, skills of reading, skills of driving, any skills you accept through your life. This is called what? Acquired traits, and you can't take it from your parents as hereditary trait. No, you accept them through your life. Now, we should know the meaning of genetics. Genetics is science. Science that researches or studies. To study what? Study these hereditary traits. Study the transmission of traits from one generation to another. So genetics means what? A science that researches the transmission of hereditary traits from one generation to another. How? By studying the similarities and differences between the parents and offspring. Study what, you girls? Similarities and differences between the parents and their offspring. Offspring means the young or the babies. Okay? And here we should remember this from grade 8 or from the first term in asexual reproduction. You remember this from the first term? Asexual reproduction, the similarity is exact because offspring are produced from one parental cell. What is the meaning of this? There is no father, there is no mother in asexual reproduction. So the new cell, the produced cell, will be exact to the parental cell. So the similarity is exact. Why? Because offspring are produced from one parental cell. There is no father and mother. It's one cell. And in sexual reproduction, there are similarities and differences. Why? Because there is father and mother. Because there is what you girls coupling of two individuals, coupling of father and mother. So there will be similarities and differences in the offspring. Now we will talk about Mendel's experiment. Mendel or Gregor Mendel is a scientist who put the basics of genetics. Who put the basics of what? Genetics. This scientist who put the basics of genetics. Mendel carried out a group of experiments or performed a group of experiments. These experiments explained what? Explained how hereditary traits are transmitted from one generation to another and why. Why some traits of parents appear in their offspring. So he studied or explained that hereditary traits are transmitted from one generation to another, how this happened, and he explained why some traits of parents appear in their offspring. He performed his experiments using pea plant. This is called what? Pea plant. Why? Due to or because of the following reasons. We have 6 reasons why scientist Mendel chose pea plant for his experiments. Number 1, it's easy to be planted and it grows fast. This plant is so easy to be planted. You can plant it easily and it grows fast. So it will not take long time to know the production, to see the offspring. No, it grows fast. Number 2, its life cycle is short. So this helps him to know or to produce many generations and to see the conclusion, the results on many generations. Number 3, its flowers are hermaphrodite, so it can be self-pollinated. What is the meaning of hermaphrodite? You remember this? Hermaphrodite means what, you girls? Bisexual. What is the meaning of bisexual? Means that the flowers of this plant has both male and female sex organs. The flower of this plant has both male and female organs. This is the meaning of what? Hermaphrodite. So, if it has both male and female sex organs, what will happen? It can be self-pollinated. What is the meaning of self-pollinated? You remember, this is the flower composition, the hermaphrodite flower. We have here pistil or carpel. What is the carpel? Carpel is the female part of the flower. And it consists of a stigma. You remember this? Style and ovary. And here we have stamen. Stamen consists from anther and filament, and the stamen is the male part of the flower. Self-pollinated means that the pollen grains or the pollens comes out from the anther, the male part, and the pollen grains, they are the male gametes. They come out from the anther and pollinate the stigma or the female part in the same flower. So this plant is self-pollinated. Okay, girls, because other plants, there are other plants, not hermaphrodite, not have the male and the female sex organs in the same flower. They have some flowers with male sex organs and some flowers with only female sex organs. But here we have hermaphrodite, bisexual flowers, so it can be self-pollinated, and this also will make the experiments fast, and he can examine many generations for his experiments. Number 4, it can be easily artificially pollinated. Human intervention. What is the meaning of human intervention? Artificially pollinated. He can pollinate the flower by himself, by many methods, by himself. Not only he will wait for the self-pollination of the flowers, no, he can make the pollination of the flowers of this plant. So it can be easily artificially pollinated. Number 5, it produces large number of plants in one generation. In one generation, this plant can produce large number of plants. So he can put his results fast, and he can put his conclusion fast. So it will not be difficult for him. Number 6, it has several pairs of easily recognized contrasting traits. This plant has several pairs of easily recognized contrasting traits. Contrasting traits means what, you girls? Means opposite traits or opposite characteristics. Like what, for example? This plant, some of these plants are long-stemmed. The stem of them, you know the stem? The plant consists from roots, stem, flower, fruit. You remember this? The stem of the plant. Some of the plants are long-stemmed and the others are short-stemmed. So we have here long and short stem. They are contrasting traits. A pair of contrasting traits or pairs of opposite characteristics. For example, the flowers of some of these plants are white and the other flowers are red. So I talk now about the flower characteristic. Some flowers are red, some flowers are white. The pods of the peas. What is the meaning of pod? This one. This is called what? Pod. The pods of the peas could be green in color or yellow, and so on. Some peas have green pod and other peas have yellow pod. So this plant has several pairs of easily recognized contrasting traits. So how many reasons are here to choose pea plant? See, 6 reasons. Number 1, easy to be planted and it goes fast. Number 2, life cycle is short. 3, flowers are hermaphrodite, so itself can be self-pollinated and it can be easily artificially pollinated. Number 5, produces large number of plants in the one generation. And the last one, it has several pairs of characteristics Opposite characteristics like red flower, white flower, long stem, short stem, green pod and yellow pod. Okay, girls, now, despite the numerous or the different traits of pea plant, Mendel chose 7 main traits to conduct his experiment, to perform his experiments. He chose only 7 main traits. We will take them from this table to see the shape of them. The first character or the first trait here, the seed shape. Seed shape may be smooth or wrinkled. Smooth or wrinkled. What did I make of wrinkled? They have some lines on it, not smooth like this seed. Number 2, seed color. He chose yellow and green color, or he used these traits, these characters for his experiment. Number 3, pod fruit color. Pod may be green or yellow. Pod shape, swollen like this, or sinuous like this. Sinuous has lines like this, but here swollen, there is no any lines, it's smooth. And here flower color may be red or white. So he chose 7 main traits to perform his experiment. What are they? Again, seed shape, seed color. So about seed, shape and color. About pod, color and shape, the same thing for seed and pod. Flower color, the last one. Now we have another 2 characters. Flower position, maybe side or at the end of the plant or at side of the plant, and stem height may be tall or short. The stem of the plant may be tall or short. So here we have 7 characters. Mendel chose them to perform his experiments. Again, what are they? Seed shape, pod color, seed shape and seed color, pod color and pod shape, flower color, flower position, and the last one, stem height. Can you remember them now? Seed shape, seed color, pod shape, pod color, flower color and the flower position, side or end, and stem height, tall or short. Okay, girls, and we have here again seed shape, smooth or wrinkled, color yellow or green, and to pod color green or yellow, and the shape of pod swollen or sinuous, and the color of the flower red or white, and the position, side or end, and the height of the stem, tall or short. Okay, grade 9. If you can't understand any point, please send me a message. Bye bye.